Test taking is one thing that a student dreads the most when it comes to the academic part of school. Whether it is a small test, small quiz, or a big test, everyone gets nervous. Some students panic and some get anxiety. It does not seem necessary for that to happen, but it is very common today. According to kidshealth.org, test anxiety is a feeling that someone might have in a situation where performance really counts or when the pressure's on to do well. Although test anxiety can be fixed by simple things such as efficient studying, a pre-test routine, or a relaxation technique, test anxiety can put a damper on a student's test score performance. Students blame their scores on this anxiety because it seems as if they do not know the material they are being tested on. Standardized tests are ones that really get students freaked out. For example, knowing that the ACT depends on how prepared you are for college, or the praxis exam is what makes you become a certified teacher, you can also be put in a state of panic. Also, if a child lacks in the test sophistication area, this can also hinder the outcome of the test. The Carnegie perspective says that test sophistication is the ability to use characteristics and formats of the test and test-taking situations to obtain a higher score. This, in easier terms, means that the student should learn how to take a timed test and/or use an elimination technique to obtain a higher score. All of these things mentioned above bring an overall eye-opening statement to our attention. Standardized tests should be used as a guide for children's educational standing and higher education entry. They should not be used for a pass or fail determinant for higher level entry. The many standardized tests that are given throughout the country in all different levels of education require preparation and educational training and learning from the teachers. The education system is always looking for ways to be improved. The higher up in school systems base education curriculums around preparing students for standardized testing. Teachers today get rewarded with bonuses if their students' scores increase. The No Child Left Behind law, according to the text Social Welfare Policy and Social Programs, states that this is an education program that sets an annual target and student achievement that schools must meet. The goal of the law is to ensure that all children are at grade level proficiency in reading and writing by 2014. Today, though, there are many students who are not on the right path in their education. The teachers who truly care about education help these children as much as possible. But the children who know that they are lacking in education do not try as hard, and their test scores are there to prove it. This looks like the teachers are not doing their job when really they are. The tests provide a measure of accountability for what goes on in the classroom. This statement can always be argued in many ways. If the state looked at the scores to determine an educational standing, whether than pass or fail, there could be some room for improvement. The question, do test-based incentives actually drive improvement for student learning, brings up different issues. The answer issues.org gives is no. The incentive systems that were studied had only small effects, in many cases no effect on student learning. This research shows that incentives for teachers show no improvement in student achievement. Reading, writing, and arithmetic, better known as the 3 R's, are the basic needs in education that must be met to master life skills. When basic skills are lost and not taught, especially starting at a young age, children grow up not caring about the basis of education. A simple skill such as handwriting is not even being taught to young children. They grow up writing a signature in print because they do not know how to write in cursive. Cursive writing has been taught in schools for many years. Donna Barisco, a 5th grade public school teacher for 23 years, says simple skills such as reading and writing should be mastered at an early age and should be a big part of promotion, not a standardized test. Because now in Tangipahoa Parish, the policy is not to retain kids in grades kindergarten through third. She says that kindergartners through third graders would be the best time to retain, because when you get to fourth grade and you have to take the standardized LEAP test, this can refrain from the possible humiliation of failing. Teachers like Donna think on a different level. They understand the basis of education and try to bring it back to the classroom where it is lacked. Since LEAP is taken in fourth grade and basically decides whether a student should move on to a middle school level education, the scores need to be looked at closely to find where the student lacks knowledge early on so it can be fixed. There are lots of factors that must be looked into. In order to find out the true knowledge of a student. The student sometimes may have test anxiety or something as simple as a lack of sleep the night before that can perform how they perform on a major test. Fairtest.org says a standardized test is only reliable if you would get the same exact results the second time you administered it. All tests have measurement error. This means an individual's score may significantly vary from day to day due to testing conditions or mental state. It also states that standardized tests are not fair and helpful evaluation tools because they do not measure the ability to think deeply or creativity in any field. These students have proven to society that standardized testing is an unreliable measure of student performance. Research shows standardized test scores should be used as a guide for children's education standing and higher education entry. They should not be used as a pass or fail for determinant to entry to higher level education because they have not improved student achievement. Basics in education have been lost, and they show an unreliable measure in student performance. Thank you. Is there any questions?
Do you support standardized testing?
I do not support standardized testing because I do not think that it shows what the child is really capable of. Some students are bad test takers or having a bad day when they go in for a test, and when someone knows that they can do better and perform better on a test, the bad stuff makes them not perform as well, and it shows the higher educators that what's being done in the classroom is not really being taught.
What do you think we can do to fix this problem?
I think there are many things that could be done to fix this problem, including there should be an alternative test given that doesn't mainly rely on multiple choice and time testing. There are some students who get pressured under that and they don't perform well. Thank you.